A minute ago.
Is it just dog shit in an envelope sent to us?
If it came in the mail, it's still good.
Hello and welcome to Let's Drone Out. Thanks for tuning back in. Tonight we are joined by Andrew Frank.
Hi there.
We're joined by Andy RC.
Hello, everybody.
Everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Hello. I can't find the disclaimer. Bear with me.
And I haven't got my tumour that is my little Tony. So today I'm on holiday.
Oh,
and I'm right till I fly.
Any views expressed by any guests on this show or the host are personal and may not reflect the views of the host or any participant of the show or anybody, and ignore us, please.
And we might need to include fans of the show now for what we were just talking about before we come on air. Maybe that needs to be put in the discllaimer. We've had some fan mail.
I don't think they can be liable if they call us idiots by fan mail, because
is that what's
probably true.
It can't be fan mail if they're calling us idiots.
I don't like using the word fan either, listener.
Shall we change the name of the show to the Let's Drone Out Fan Club?
No, definitely not. I vote for Let's Drone Out Tolerators.
Either way, I have a letter from a listener or an email.
I was going to say a letter. They've got your address and everything.
Yeah, they're watching you.
Not hard.
If someone sends me a letter, I will send them something back. So it's from
a piece of your hair.
No. As Ladders, who may or may not be in the chat, knows, I will find where you live, and I will know.
What did you do to Ladders?
That's why we haven't seen him for a while.
I scared him slightly. That's
Yay!
all.
What does £5 get us?
What's green?
From RDFPV.
It's green. Where's green? Hold
blue.
On.
That's blue to me.
That's definitely green. I didn't know you were colourblind, but there we go.
Can I set this off?
Is this why you have the trouble telling the difference between the ground and the sky?
Kind of.
How's it going, RDF? How's it going, RDF PV?
Can I set this off? Because I'm skeptical whether this works or not.
Is this the gender one? Oh,
Jesus!
What happened?
Well, we didn't have you on screen, so no one saw it, Jack. So you're all right.
No, it was on my screen.
It wasn't presented. Try again.
Wangy noise.
Find something else. Green on the list is a cake fountain.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
What happened with the gender thing, Jack? It just was a load of blue stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah. I had to fully take it apart to get it working, and then I think I got it working, and I taped the lid down more securely. And see, like there's extra tape on it, so it wouldn't go off. And then I was holding it, and then it just went off in my hand.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Tony, how often does that happen to you, that it goes off in your hand?
Quite often. It only takes a second.
Look, Tony's doing this from the USA, but he still looks like he could be in his flat. Not much difference in the background.
I wonder if we can line up the doors so it looks like that he's sat right next to Curry Kitten again, because it does look like that. Don't lick it.
Thank you, RDFPV.
Hello, Clarice.
Is that the sheep you're setting fire to?
He's setting fire to Colin. He doesn't appreciate the effort.
I should really be wearing my PPE, but I'll save that for an actual sparkler.
Yeah, save that for when Tony's back in the UK and can have
also
his PPE.
Blowtorch lighter, way better.
Right.
Cheers.
Hello,
anyway,
Tony.
We had an email from a fan or a listener.
Stop presenting Jack.
Oh,
Present yourself.
Sorry.
Let's just.
I haven't got controls.
Neither have I, so it's all going really well. Let me set up controls so that we can actually do things.
Looking forward to these words of encouragement and positivity.
Yes, this is way overhyping this fan email. from Bran. First off, I really enjoy the show and have been listening for about 4 months now. I learn and gain happiness every time, smiley face. My question is, you guys had someone on recently that made a ring from a meteorite. Where can I find his email? Because I would like to buy a ring from him. Thanks, guys. Shout out to Andy RC, you the man, sent from outer space. So,
thank you. That's cool.
I'm taking it from this that we didn't adequately explain who David was for people that don't know.
And just for the record, I didn't send that email anonymously to you.
We can't
Although
give...
I would love also to know where to get one of those rings from.
We can't give out his email because of the GDPR, even though it's on the
You can
internet.
give out his website, though, and I'm sure you
I thought he gave out his email whilst he was on the show last week. Was it just a website?
He's allowed to do it. We can't.
So
you can give out the website.
Just rewind it to the bit where he says David at rcexplorer.se, and then you'll get it.
There we go.
There you go. There you go. Cricket's just giving their website out. You can give you can mention a website out, can't you?
It's definitely rcexplorer.se.
And his name is David, so you can maybe guess his email.
Yeah. Yes.
And he was on a very popular show called, was it Flight Test? Was it? So I can't remember. It's not. But yeah.
Let Frank speak.
No, don't let me speak.
I was by the pool 10 minutes ago.
Buying as in next to, or buying it as in purchasing it?
No,
why did you buy a pool? You'll never get it back through customs.
I was next to it, by the pool, near it, in the boiling hot sun, chilling out, sort of snoozing, falling asleep. It was lovely. I've had one fly here.
What have you flown?
Fucking hell.
One pack over Lake. I can't remember. Lake Frederica. It's quite a good little.
I watched
fly.
it, but I didn't understand why you were hassling a small child at the end of your video.
I was what? Hassling?
A small child, by the looks of it.
Oh no, she just wanted to see what was going on. She'd never seen anything fly before. I was kind of showing her.
But I'm looking forward to the Tony versus Gator. If it goes down, you have to retrieve it.
Yeah. I was worried flying across the water. Every time you go across water, it's worrying. You just constantly in the back of your mind. If it goes in, I've got to go in and find this. And there's gators in here.
You went quite far into the water as well, from what I saw, Tone.
I really, really wanted to go low, and I love it when you're going across and the ripples are going. It just looks really good. I really wanted to go further, but I just couldn't.
How many copters have you taken over with you?
2 3-star, 1 race. I'm hoping to go out Saturday and meet a couple of lads from the US who I met last time, Gary, and then there's a guy, I think his name's Sean, Creeping FPV, who underfluked one of our Patriots. Is it Patreon? Yeah, Patreon. One of his, underfluked has kind of set me up to go out and fly with these guys. So, and then I've spoke to Kappa as well, and he's going to try to hook me up with Drew, and I think everyone else has gone home, all the Rotor Riot lot now. They all come to Florida and then all flew home, so I've missed all of them. But I think Drew lives here now. Yeah. So I may get to fly with him. I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
The other suggestion in the chat has is race day quads.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it'd be interesting to visit there for sure.
Yeah, I flew with the guys at Race Day Clods when I was here in September at the track. Most of them were there, so I know who they are. So yeah, I will go and check them out. It's not far from where I am at the moment.
Tony drinking. It must be at 9 a.m. there, is it, Tone?
So can you ask Drew if he actually does hate me loads, and if he did, and if he did actually reference me being a dick in that interview?
Was Tony? I was going to say, was Tony answering yes, he does think you are, or yes, I will ask the question.
Is that yes? That's just a given assumption for anybody you meet.
Because if it is, I'll add it to my resume.
It is jacked, so most people probably say yes.
What I thought would be interesting, Tony, watching that is to get a camera on your face as you're flying, because I wanted to know if you were going, oh, I'm over the water, I want to come back, this is looking dodgy, or stuff. Was it a bit like that?
It was like that. I was a bit worried. Well, you know how it is if you're going across water. It's always scary. I mean, I was thinking, oh, it's fresh water. It's not too bad. I had a spotter with me. He was probably looking, you know, it's gone down there. If I go out, there's gators in there. But
Yeah, because you're chicken nugget
No,
size
it's-
to a gator.
they don't grow very big, but they're well, they do a bit, but not as big as. I don't know. I reckon I could fight one like Crocodile Dundee. Give me a
No, that
give
would
me a-
make a good
give me a few. Give me a few beers.
You know what you should do, Tony? You
Be
should
alright.
buy like an inflatable one and then pretend that you're wrestling it, like something like that. That'd make a good
Yeah.
video.
Pop it.
Yeah. Pop it with like a prop or something like that.
It'd be
that-
fine.
That'd be anti-vegan of you, I think, if you did that, though, wouldn't it?
What, pop in a plastic thing.
Or even just wrestling
right.
an alligator when you're a vegan's probably not. You know, it's probably against the vegan, ways wrestling.
Well, I don't know.
If it's got its quad in it,
It's
if
wins,
it's got its quad in your mouth, would you let it eat it or would you go after it?
Is it vegan if it eats a bit of my finger?
Yeah, and but no.
So
Have a
if
bite
it
of me.
if it eats you, then you're entitled to eat it. That should be the rule, shouldn't it? So what you need to do is find some
But
really violent
let it eat me.
chickens that want to eat you, and then when it tries to eat you, you just, anyway.
Is that the new rules? Is it?
That's the new vegan rules that I've made up just this second. Yeah, find
What's
a
the-
violent.
Drone
the
Racer's
weather
got
like?
a crocodile emoji.
It's raining, Tony. You'll be
Yes!
pleased to hear.
Woo! Brilliant.
But for the last 3 days, it's been 25 degrees and boiling hot. So it's only started raining today. But yeah, doesn't it rain there every single day, but for like 5 minutes?
I haven't had any rain yet. I mean, I think it's gonna rain. The rocket launch thing's changed. Keeps changing blooming days. It's now on Tuesday, but it's a night launch because it's like 4:30 in the morning, so it's going to be dark when I see it go up. But I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you'll be able to just, if you don't want to, because that's the problem. If the winds get too high, then they just push it back, and so driving all the way to Cape Canaveral, and then for it to be delayed till the next day. So usually you'll find you can see it though all over Florida, because I mean it's such a. I mean, when the shuttle took off or used to take off, you could see it all over Florida. You would see it.
You pretty much can, but we're going to a beach which is like 2 miles from Cape Canaveral.
At 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it's about an hour's drive, so we don't know whether to even bother going to sleep or not.
So what do you think? Are you going to as soon as you see it tilt over and start to orbit the Earth, are you going to change your opinion on the shape of the Earth?
No, it's the glass thing above the world. It's just missing that, isn't it? Really.
Well, what happens when it gets to the edge? It just turns round and comes back, does it?
Andy, you know full well that the rocket is just a special effect. It doesn't exist. It's just being projected onto the dome.
No, it hits the dome,
being
doesn't it?
projected onto it. That's brilliant, Curry. I never even thought of that.
Well, I tell you what, it's a bloody loud projection. I'll tell you that.
Well, they've
that
got big speakers. That's what that thing where you think the Apollo 10 goes from, the big hangar. That's just a big speaker.
Is this the real reason why everyone has to stand so far back? It's just so they don't spot the projector.
Exactly. So is the shockwave that you feel through your chest and the thing that smashes windows, is that just the speaker starting up, is it then?
That's
It's
exactly
my
right.
arse, apparently. Tony.
Oh man, I get emotional when I see you may as well, Tone. It's an
Why? Because
like,
it's penis shaped.
just the noise. It's just
The
it's not
power.
like it's nothing you've ever seen, and it's amazing. I think it's just amazing what people can do as a group, as a positive thing, because we only ever see negative things on the
And
news.
just look at all of us coming together.
I was
doing
going to
this
say that.
show.
Look at this. Look what we've done.
Yeah.
Tony's literally come out of that closet behind him.
Yeah, but if it's a clear sky, Tone, just think about why when it gets to a certain point, the rocket starts to fly horizontally rather than going straight up. Have a think about why it's needing to do that, and maybe reassess your life.
I will talk to you about reassessing life in private.
Oh right.
And there goes the after show.
Yeah. Tony explains you got to have a good old cry wank. Leave that in, Pete. Wank's all right.
Don't leave it in. It's not all right.
Damn it.
So Tony had a fly. Who else has flown recently?
I flew on Monday. Was it Monday? No, Tuesday.
You've been on holiday again in your caravan, from what I've seen.
In the caravan, I was using my Mavic Air, and I was glad to say that the auto avoidance stuff worked. When I was doing a lovely orbit around my wife, who was doing a run, there was a tree there, and it went, "Hey, you're going to hit a tree," and went up in the air for me, which was good. But on Tuesday, I flew my rebuilt Beta 85 HD. Now I've got a new camera for it, and that was very, very good.
Oh, you liked it, did you?
I did like it a lot. I thought it was very good.
Did you fly it on 3S or 4S?
I did not do 4S because I was following the recommended manufacturer's instructions in this case. So I flew on 2S as well. I flew it in the house and I flew it outside on 2S and 3S and various batteries.
Yeah, no, I really like that one. Yeah, but it does, if you start doing acro with it towards the end of the battery, it does start doing some pretty crazy stuff. But that actually brings us on to a subject that we were talking about in the private Let's Drone Out chat that we have, because I'm seeing a lot of videos pop up for where they've used models like the Beta 85 and they're doing adverts with them. I mean, Tony, you were sort of early on the mark with this because you had this idea, but they're using it in conjunction with a bit of software that's quite controversial, though, aren't they? Which is
So we're talking about this. There was a video with the longboard guy where they used the tiny whip to film it, which looks fantastic, and they used the software's called Real Steady, and I know Banny's been using this as well, and it's kind of okay, I guess. I'm thinking using it in a commercial sort of context where you're not trying to produce a real flight, you're trying to produce a certain thing at the end of it, I think's fine. But I think it kind of would be a cheat if everybody just put this make everything steady thing on. It's kind of like putting a GoPro Hero 7 Black and putting the stabilization feature on. It's like, oh my god, your flight's so stable, how do you do that? It's like, well, it's not really, it's just taking all the little bits out of it. So I'd kind of much rather see sort of true flying to see what can be achieved. But I mean, by all means, put all the special effects in and what you need to do your sort of commercial product at the end of it. But I think for regular videos, I'd just like to see a more raw flight, personally. How you guys?
Yeah, I've been seeing some hashtags on YouTube, and it's all about adding effects to these cine whoops. I can't remember what the hashtag is. It's something like hashtag WFX or something like that. And it's kind of like doing that sort of thing, messing around with the Real Steady and also adding kind of like Instagram filters over the top of it, and then making it really letterbox so it's really cinematic. and stuff. But from what because I had a quick look into it, because that's quite interesting. But apparently, first of all, this Real Steady software is for After Effects. So you have to have After Effects. So that's
Is that part of that Adobe Creative Cloud thing that you can pay a subscription for, or is that still like hundreds of pounds just to buy it for starters?
Yeah. So you've got that expense straight away, and then the Real Steady, I believe, is a plugin that costs $400, and then after that, I believe as well, when you start, like, it's kind of an art form in its own, getting the Real Steady to work, because it's quite, I think you have to put a lot of work into getting the settings right, otherwise you can tell that it's been tampered with. And second of all, once you have done that, I think Josh did a video, Joshua Bardwell did a video comparing Real Steady against the built-in Hero 7 Steady, and he said that, like, just one 3-minute flight with Real Steady with a top-end computer took an hour to render the video. So, you know, that's I think I would just go for a Hero 7 and turn the stabilization on. But
it's a lot of effort, isn't it? And that's why I think it kind of belongs in the sort of professional context, where you've got, it's going to take us a long time to mess with these settings, but, you know, a professional editor or effects guy whose bread and butter is messing around in After Effects can probably churn the stuff out quite quickly. I think if you say, I'm gonna steady my flight, you'd be there for days trying to get your first one, and it makes
me wonder though, when you see I know, like, something that I'm seeing a lot of now is people who were or are, you know, popular in the racing scene, such as Banny and Johnny FPV. They are now doing these sort of corporate style, like, I don't know whether adverts, but sort of cinematic videos. And I just wonder,
it's great.
It looks amazing, but I just wonder whether someone else does the After Effects Real Steady bit, because it seems really involved and would, I mean, you know, even if you want to cut a freestyle video together, for me those can take hours and hours, because, you know, you're picking the best maneuvers and stuff. So add on top having to sort out this Real Steady business, you're talking hours and hours. I just wonder whether they outsource it or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, I'm taking a wild guess here, but I would imagine if they're being hired to shoot these corporate gigs,
I think somebody else is going to do it
because there's more money in it than traipsing about and going racing everywhere. B, it's kind of like there's probably a sort of a director and an idea of what they want. You get the footage. Once we get that, we'll give it to the editors. We'll give it to the effects people. They can put it together for the, you know, because there's a customer at the end of the day, and
we should try and get some of these people on and talk about the process.
Well, we had Johnny on the show, so maybe we can get him back. But did you see his latest video with the drift car? I mean, I think that's amazing that that these freestyle copters that we've got, along with that software, can get that kind of footage. I mean, you know, obviously it takes a incredibly skilled pilot like Johnny as well, but that's maybe an avenue. It's an avenue that I never really thought of, really, because when you think stuff like that, you think DJI, but there's no way anything DJI could move around those cars like a freestyle copter can.
No, what they're trying to do, they're getting really dynamic angles in there, which people haven't thought of. And I think, generally speaking, what you'll find is there's a lot of stuff mixed together. Even if you watch like the most basic sort of documentary on TV now, there's always a bit of like a scene setting bit where you might have a sort of drone shot and a close up, and that's just an extra bit. So you can just imagine these looking down on these drift cars from a DJI, and then going sort of way in there and sort of swooping around with them from a race quad and putting it all together. It's sort of just yet another interesting angle to work through.
I think we're going to see a lot of it, especially with car videos. But I saw another one. I think it was Kebab FPV showed someone with a Cinewoop who'd done like an advert for, I think it was like a Tesco's or like a Walmart or something like that, where they were going between the. It's like it's all done in one shot as well. I think as well. Nurk has done like a professional video shoot. So I think that seems to be the direction people are going. But
I was
imagine
first. I done Argos. I done Argos video 3 years ago.
You did do Argos, and that looked very good, and it looked like CGI turn.
It did.
I would say it did.
It did, but it wasn't.
So so maybe that's what we all need to do.
I think skiing's another interesting one. Like, there's already we already see quite a lot of skiing stuff, but we haven't. I don't think we've seen. You know, there's these big freestyle things where these guys are just dropped on the top of the mountain with heli skiing. Generally speaking, these are sort of these insane routes, sort of vertical drops and stuff. And generally speaking, the camera guy and the director is in a helicopter and he's trying to get the shots. I can imagine we'll start seeing people following down mountains to get sort of more dynamic angles and having it mixed in like that.
I've seen them on because I'm starting to follow mountain bike videos. I've got people who I start to like now because I'm into mountain biking, and you can see they're using drones for race drones.
Interesting one, isn't it, Tony? Because of course, one of the problems about mountain bike routes is you're going downhill but going through some trees. So there seems to be a limitation potentially on how far you can follow. It's like,
well, there is.
Next guy takes
there
over.
is, but then there's the jumping side of it. You know, when they're doing big tricks and stuff, where it's just massive jumps and stuff, and they're doing double backflips and things down the side of cliffs, like the Red Bull. Some of the Red Bull runs are just set in the deserts, and they're going and doing jumps off massive cliffs and stuff. So I'm watching I've been watching some of the race drone footage from there. So there's always going to be something to do with these race drones and things now, especially these little cine whoops carrying the GoPro 7 on top. Some of that footage is amazing, like the advert or the longboard thing that you were talking about. He's one of our Menace RC guys in one of my chats. He's sponsored by Menace. It'd be interesting to see how much work goes into it, but I imagine it's all quite top secret as well if it's quite lucrative. But I might be able to actually ask him. He's I think he's French, but I might, if he speaks good English, I might see if he wants to come on and have a chat about it next week, maybe, or the week after.
See, I don't.
European we had on was a great success. Is he coming back?
Is that
the Spanish guy who didn't seem to have a microphone that worked?
Yeah,
that was Jack's thing, not mine.
You've got to come on as well, Tone, for that. He has bought a better microphone, and he tweeted me a while ago, so he'll get back to me at some point. So it is sorted.
I put a GoPro 7 on my X-Class, and I was amazed by how much it smooths stuff out, because I managed.
I wondered why I could see the arms moving, but that's the stabilization moving it. Then
it was.
So the first thing I noticed that you had the GPS speed on it, which is one of the features on that camera as well. But it's amazing, isn't it, in comparison?
Oh, so that's from the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, my worry with the 7 is that I mean I've got the 5, and they're just so much heavier than the Session.
They are, but I think for the footage you get, it's worth it. I'm really thinking about buying one for my mountain biking as well, because I've seen mountain bike videos where they have it on their chests, heads, and stuff, and it just looks incredible. You can go down pumps.
On the way out, Tony, it would have been £50 cheaper, although you might be able to get it out there in Best Buy or something cheap.
They do. I have seen it. I've seen it out here.
Aren't they like $400 though for the 7?
Yeah, I'll probably get it when I get back, because I can get insurance like I've got on my other 2.
Yeah, so that's the problem with the bigger camera. Like the Session, you can protect pretty easily because it's just a box, but the 7's got a couple of screens that could easily be smashed, hasn't it? I might wait a couple of years, because you can pick up Hero 4s now for next to nothing. Maybe that's the way to do it, because $400, I mean, in just for the camera, And that's an entire, more than the cost of an entire copter that you've got flying in the air there just to get, I think that was one of the advantages of the real steady stuff is that, it doesn't matter what camera you've got. Whereas if you want to use the Hero 7's stability, which is arguably, well, Josh was saying it was arguably as good, is that you have to use GoPro. So that was the advantage. But it's instant.
If you're sticking one of them on your quad and flying out above water like I am, and it goes wrong, you've done 600 quid, didn't you?
Well, you're definitely going back in to find it. Put it that way. But I've got the 7 Black, but I haven't put it on a quad because it's too damn expensive, and if I break it, my wife will hurt me. So it's been saved for holidays.
That's an incentive to keep it well.
I got the GoPro Hero 4 when it was new, and I've never really properly stuck it on a quad. And it's just like this antique thing that, it hasn't been updated, so it has got video out, and I just haven't used it. And I think the batteries are probably shot now. So, I just think if you buy this thing, you might as well use it.
Yeah, I think in terms of video quality, from the Hero 4 to the Hero 7, the quality hasn't really changed. What has changed is just the features and stability, really. I mean, when you compare the footage, it's not that different. I still use the Hero 4 for my hat cam.
It would have been nice if they'd done the 7 without like 2 options, one with a screen and one without, like a bit cheaper.
Or a session 7. Now that just press go and then it beeps and records. We'll never see that though.
Faffing around with a back screen and that, and you definitely have to have it protected if it's on a quad. I mean, my mate let me put it on my X-Class, but
MC's Creations
because I wanted all that.
MC's Creations in the chat asks Andy RC, or I guess anyone else, any chance anyone's reviewed the Foxy Box 2 yet, or had a look at one or anything?
I think Oscar's the only one.
I haven't got it.
Our friend has, hasn't he?
I've been
Oscar
asked to check one out, but not by Foxy, by a retailer. So I will get it, but it won't be it won't be anytime soon. It'll be when everyone else can buy one. I don't know though. From the early thing, I mean, obviously they can't do what I'm going to call now dynamic stretching within the camera, because somebody owns the rights to that. So I don't think I mean the picture could be better, and you might not want to use what they call it supervision, where they just stretch.
Careful, you're not allowed to use the word super.
The thing is,
I said vision.
Or the other word.
Not having Super Live isn't the worst thing ever, because I've only got the original session, and SuperView only works on 30 frames a second, so I just fly wide on 60, and that still looks okay. So if you've got a decent camera that can do 1080p 60 and doesn't sort of shake about and stuff, I think it still looks all right.
I don't understand why the G company is still using square sensors when everybody else has started using 16:9 sensors. Then there wouldn't be the need for SV. I'm having to speak in code here, but the whole dynamic stretching thing is so that you can utilize the full sensor, right? But companies like Cadex with their Turtle and Runcam with their Split, if you take a look at the sensor, it's a 16:9 sensor, not a 4:3 sensor. The G company uses 4:3 sensors, which is why they need to use the SV to stretch it to 16:9. People aren't going to understand why I'm
maybe they'll introduce 69 sensors in version 9 of their particular camera.
Yeah, so
and if we get a community strike, we can't stream.
So maybe there isn't the need for, if they start, or maybe there is a reason why square sensors are being used. Maybe it's the form factor, because it's a box. But really, if you look at sensors on DSLR cameras and stuff like that, they're always they're not a 4:3 aspect sensor size.
I mean, it might just be me being cynical, but I think it's kind of because I'm going to say it, because GoPro have got
Who?
the 4:3 sensors and have developed the Super View, and because that's kind of now a feature, like that's a way of seeing things, because GoPro are, the big king in action cameras at the moment.
And we worship our new overlords.
And because that is a way people expect to see the action cam footage, then that's almost like a feature that is a selling point to make it look like that. So GoPro aren't going to change like go to a different sensor just to make less of a software development that they own anyway.
It could also be to do something with the lens, in that it's easy, in that you get lens distortion with these things. So I guess if the sensor is wider, then you have to have a bigger aperture lens perhaps, and maybe there are some downsides. I'm just trying, this is speculation, GP company, just for your just for your information.
But like Frank says, it has a certain look, and maybe they like that Super View look, because of course where it does that stretching at the side, it gives that increased perception of speed. Now MC is saying that Foxeer Box 2 does the stretchy thing. Well, the original box did a stretchy thing as well, but it can't do the stretchy thing in the same way, else they would get very much taken out by the DP company.
No, we like to refer that as Andy R. Seed.
They call it supervision, and what it does is rather than
you said the word.
Supervision.
No, he didn't.
Supervision is what is Foxeer's version of the thing that I'm not allowed to say.
We'll get Andy R. Seed.
Do you guys all fly 16:9? Because I'm still flying 4:3.
Ed has a good point in the chat as well. Good point, which was that by having the 4:3 sensor, you've got more height,
vertical,
the stabilization to go in.
Buy it.
Well, not really, because I mean, you can keep the height of the sensor the same and stretch the edges. So that's which is why.
Well, that is what they do, isn't it? Stretch the edges. They don't stretch the whole thing.
No, I'm talking about the physical sensor. Yeah,
but then you'd need a whole bigger sensor, like a big sensor. Whereas this way, they're only stretching it.
That's true. That's true. And
it's built in that way anyway.
Look at that! Woo! Woo!
Yeah, I
Sorry,
mean,
I was taking a piss out of you doing that.
What's crazy is if you look at some of the FPV cameras, so we're talking non HD cameras, the ones that are coming out now, such as for
anyone listening on a podcast, Tony got his wanger out, by the way. Sorry, carry on.
FPV cameras such as the Ratal, the new CMOS cameras, they've got bigger sensors than these HD cameras, so I'm not sure that's a good enough reason to keep the sensor. I'm sure there is a reason, but if you look at FPV cameras now, they're mostly 16:9 CMOS, and if you look at the Split, the Turtle, the Mix, they are all 16:9 sensors, not 4:3. So I think it is to do with as you were saying, and this is just my opinion, it's not fact, the look of it. So, but considering that other companies can't copy that, why don't they just stick in a 16:9 sensor and do things differently rather than try and emulate? Because emulating it doesn't work.
If you're trying to crop down, so say you've got the full 4:3 sensor.
Just get a bit of paper and then cut a rectangle bit of paper and move it round.
No, the fingers
He's
are
much
working.
better with the visual display.
The fingers are working.
I'll try
for
not
me, Jack.
to, because as you say, podcasts. So doing things with hands is a terrible idea.
But this is Andy RC. You can still explain it, but Andy RC gets to see pictures.
If you've got a 4:3, well, actually, let's make it even more extreme. Let's say you've got a purely square sensor,
A 1-1.
and you're
1:1.
trying to crop, and it's shaking about, and so you're trying to crop it down to a stable crop of that. That's going to be. You can have, even if it's at like 45 degrees, you can have a much bigger image with more pixels in it than if you had like a tiny little long slit letterbox sensor, and if you try and crop that down to a little slit letterbox with that at 45 degrees, it's going to be like 3 pixels.
I get what you're saying, but if that was the case, then why did the ones that didn't have stabilization still have the 4:3? No, I understand that, but I think it's probably partly to do with that. I can see, Jack, I understand the concept. This is going to make no sense to people laughing. That's very clever though, Jack. Jack, are you the one that sent me the warning by any chance?
No, it weren't.
Oh, right.
I wasn't.
Fair enough.
For podcast listeners, Jack had what looked like a bit of acetate and a bit of paper, and
That is exactly what it was.
made a little animated sort of live animation.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no,
This coming from the bloke, right, who's got a team of 5 people trying to fix audio problems.
It turns out Jack has got each of us individually to solve part of his rig setup on his streaming rig.
Although it seems to be a moving goalpost, because as you're saying, try this, Jack, he says stuff like, well, I've just unplugged all these cables and plugged them in differently, and now it does this. No, stop doing that.
Shall I buy this? No.
I bought it anyway.
Wayne and Tony look like they're sat in the same room again on my computer. No, other side.
Other way.
Oh, no, he's moved it now. He got the camera angle just
High five,
right.
Tony.
Other side.
Other side.
Curry, other side.
It's
because it's reflecting you, so you look like a mirror.
Oh, well, that's just
Tony,
weird.
you were doing it right the
you were
first time.
right.
There we go.
Anyways, moving on, because we did that last time.
Well done, Jack. Now add a circle for the lens around the 1.1. Oh, what? How does that work? Because no one explained that to me.
Circumscribe
Jack, why don't we
the
get,
sensor with a circle.
Oh, the whole sensor.
Yes, the whole sensor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Not the
Why don't-
letterbox.
Why don't we get Andy Shen back on to chat? I know he was hard work to chat to, but he's,
No, never again.
Well, he's definitely going to come back on now. You've said that, isn't he, Tone?
Wow.
well, no, he might do, but because he's done he's designed some like cine whoopie type things. Have you seen the ones where people are putting Hero 7s on top and they've got big ducks and things like that? Oh, look at that, Jack.
Oh, genius.
It looks like some sort of weird solar eclipse if the Earth was flat or something.
Oh, got to be careful drawing that, man. That might be conceived as leaking GoPro patents.
And you've just mentioned the company as well. This video is going to get taken down.
That was, in my defense, that was being facetious.
Yes.
Where's the disclaimer, Corey?
Yeah.
Has Carrie Critton read that out yet?
I've read it
Yeah.
out every time we have to update it. Hang on.
Great. So
No,
now
not
I'm the only
taken
one
that.
being sued.
Take it from me. No disclaimer will help you in this situation.
Any views expressed by any guest, especially Andy RC, on this show are personal and may not reflect the views of everybody else who are innocent.
I got a bloody tick by my name and couldn't do anything about it. You lot
on a register, mate.
you lot are finished.
Don't
Let's-
need you
let's-
verified.
Let's change the subject very quickly.
Tell us what special benefits you get for having a tick. What happens? Do you get an extra button on YouTube again?
I don't think you get anything. I don't even know why I got it. I got it when I got 10,000 subs, and it upset a lot of people because I think you're supposed to have over 100,000. So I think it was a mistake, if I'm honest. But there you go. I got the tick. Whatever. Just but I am Andy RC. I think that's what it means. I certainly don't get any benefits when it comes to terms of the algorithm or searches.
You can prove you're Andy RC, and you're not one of the many imposters saying they are Andy RC.
There are a lot of imposters, but thanks to Ash from Droning On, it showed me in the new Creator Studio where people have uploaded your video, because that happens a lot. Like if you've got a popular product,
people nick your video and upload it for themselves.
Yeah, so they get the views and stuff. Yeah, but
I might try that.
I must have had about 50 videos uploaded. Where they've literally just downloaded the video and then just made it out that they've got like a review channel and just uploaded it. Even though I say I'm Andy RC. And so what used to happen is a lot of people would message me when you could message through YouTube and say, I found this video that's not you, and kind of thing. And actually, that's what the tick used to give you, because you could instantly remove it, but now everyone can instantly remove it. So I'm not sure what the tick does. Perhaps I'll have to look up what the tick does. But yes, you can. Anyone can see what
We've now got all the live chat claiming to be Andy RC.
Well, I don't see any ticks. They can't be.
Good work, guys.
Oh, Fraser's there.
Who did you get a tip from? I just saw the firework and didn't know who it was from.
Oh,
RDFPV.
Oh, RDFPV. We haven't heard him in the chat for a
What's
while.
What's that movie where everyone stands up and goes, I'm such and such?
Well, you've got two movies going on here. You've got Spartacus, which is I'm Spartacus, and then you've got I'm Andy RC and so's my wife, which is of course Life of Brian from Dave's story there. Good references, all of them.
There you go, GoPro. Everybody's Andy RC, so that makes it harder.
my next video is going to be called I'm Andy RC. That is my next video. Have you seen my picture of you? I've found of you on holiday.
Yes, Andy? Very funny, Tony. Thank you.
You need to link it.
I fucking wet myself when I saw that. I was like, I've got to post this. It's definitely Andy on holiday.
I just had flashbacks to Western Park when me and Jack first met, because that's pretty much what I was red.
You were literally like Zoidberg.
Not charcoal. I was red. Yeah. Are you chaps coming Western Park this year, or are you not gonna bother? I'm bothering to come to Minneapolis.
Where is it? It's in Wales.
It's not in Wales. No, it's like
it might as well be.
Just above Birmingham. It is.
That's Wales.
I think Wales is a bit more to the left.
Okay, I might come and watch. I'm not going to fly. I think it's like it's 60 quid in it for pilots to join Western. I'm sure I saw an advert.
I don't know.
God, you
60 quid to race
for that.
60 quid to race at Western, so you probably get no time to practice, and then you've got to race, and then you've got to give them £60.
Not the end of the show.
I think I'm just going to come and watch.
Well, if you read the notes, Tony, you get.
I didn't read the notes.
No, you didn't. So Friday is basically, and this is me trying to remember it all. Friday, I believe, is free flying the track. Saturday and Sunday is the international qualifiers, I think, or at least it was last year. I'm trying to remember.
I
if
was
it is
going to
again this
say, I
year.
don't know whether it. Can we confirm if the FPV is actually going to be there? Because wasn't it the I series? And I thought I series closed, or am I just making that up?
It is definitely going on again this year. It will be BDRA. So if you go to IFPV or BDRA, you'll be able to get more information about the racing there.
What?
Yeah.
Tony's stolen a child.
Tony, you're not allowed those. Megan Law says so.
Joking aside, though, Western Park is literally the biggest show for RC in the UK, and it's massive. Probably bigger than Flight Fest, I would even say. It's not for FPV, but for RC stuff in general, it is colossal. And Tony, if Tony's never been, he's missing out. Especially the night time.
I'm going to come. I'm going to come to the Western, and yeah, I'll probably come and camp and have a look around because I've never been before.
It is the biggest show. I think. Is there another one down south that's quite big but not quite? Is it Wings and Wheels, Andy, or something like that? It's called.
Well, there's Wood Spring is the other one I keep hearing about.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Western Park.
Tony's girlfriend.
Oi, this is Sky. Say hello, Sky.
Hello, Sky.
Hello,
We
Scott.
can say hello to her.
Bruce
She
made
can't
her,
hear
didn't he?
Bruce made her, yeah, very well as well. She's lovely. And yeah,
Don't worry, he scares me as
Don't wanna
well.
say
Oh no,
anything.
she
You
can't.
can't try.
Who's that?
So, are you guys coming Western
Can you
Park
see?
then, or not?
Yeah.
I'm coming to Mini Air Show.
Yeah,
I'll go
I'm
with
gonna
Frank.
What's the date?
I need
It's usually June time, and
Yes,
it's usually
14th, 15th, and 16th of June is Western Park, and you can get more information from bdra.uk.
I
And
might
while
be
on the
come up for a
subject of events, perhaps we should talk about one that's happening next month sometime down
A couple of
your
weeks.
way. Is it a couple of weeks now?
It's
Did you
2
say
weeks away.
Norway or your way?
Your way, not Norway. Is it?
Norway.
I'm not.
But yes, Mini Air Show,
Those on
miniairshow.co.uk,
live.
facebook.com/miniairshow. There is camping available from Thursday night through to Monday night. There is the relay racing. There is the fun flying. Or you can just come along, and if you just come along and have a look, then it is free.
Who's the lineup? Who have you got there?
All sorts of things.
Andy RC, it will be a feature. Just walking around,
I'll be in a bush
painless
for
360.
the magazine.
We
Jack
got to
will
do
be
a
in the
live
bush
show
with me.
with me.
Yep, there's going to be a live Let's Drone Out. Don't forget to bring your equipment, guys.
You said that last time and it didn't happen. Is it happening this time?
It's happening. It is definitely happening.
What time is it happening? Because I will be going home on a daily
You
basis.
live half an hour away from there. There's no excuse.
I know, that's
Yeah.
why I want to go home and have my tea and stuff.
What, and then
It's
come back?
Saturday evening.
Well, how, like, early evening then? I'll accept an
Well,
early.
before it's dark, so
Well,
you
I
don't
can't
get
be
scared
going
on
with
my own.
sort of, 9 o'clock sort of thing.
There are people that are coming from all over the globe, and Wayne lives 20 minutes away and can't make it
Isn't it?
to the show.
Yeah,
There
I
is-
know.
I
There is-
can make it there. I said I'd be there both days.
I'll
fair
feed you.
But I like, no offense, guys, but I really like my family. They're nice to hang around with as well. So I like to see them every day.
Well, aren't we your family then?
No, you're just a bunch
Come
of
on.
misfits.
The
We've
LDO
already
family.
established how I'm not allowed to camp, because unless you can put a amazing snore zone around me, everybody will kill me during the night.
Oh my
So
God. Can I just say, I'm bringing my dog. Please, no one touch him. That's all I want
Sexually.
to say.
It upsets Tony.
Just
The dog
do
don't
not
mind.
touch him.
Give me your PayPal.
Can
But
you get
we
one of those leads, Tony? Because I've got one for my dog that says friendly. If you can get one that says grumpy or vicious or something like that, then people would know not to touch him.
I will try to get a lead by the time I come. It's do not touch lead.
But
I-
we will have
Jack
at Mini Air
needs one,
Show,
eh?
before we move on to other topics of conversation, we will have AZ Aerosports will be bringing along a lot of their fancy stuff. If you stick their name into YouTube, AZ Aerosports, you will find some interesting stuff that's going to be flying. Steve Holland, who does some lovely giant model aircraft.
No way, Steve Holland, man. I'd known that. Well, I've known of that guy for years. Yeah, at part of the LMA club. Yeah, large model.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, Steve Holland. I think he used to work for the BBC as well. I think he was a cameraman for the BBC.
I
And that-
believe so.
Yeah,
He was the pilot of the giant Lancaster that you might have spotted at the end of one of the Battle of Britain Model Squadron episodes.
If my friend Phil is listening to this, which he sometimes does, he'll know Steve Holland because he's been around the scene for years with the large models. Yeah, I can remember years, and probably 20 years ago, he used to fly this big Catalina, which was like a is that amphibious? The
That
right
lands
word?
on water.
Lands on water, but it's got retract wheels, and he used to come along the strip with the wheels up, but sort of graze along the grass and then take it back round. Yeah. Oh man, that would be cool. Yeah, I don't think I've chatted to him, but he's quite a well-known chap in the especially if you go to Western Park. He's quite a lot of his models will be the main display kind of thing. So what's he bringing there, Andy?
It's all being worked out at the moment. There's a lot of stuff being worked out at the moment, which is why the plan is that this weekend I will be updating the website with all the things, so everyone's kind of running around in mad panic trying to make decisions. But yeah, there is a lot of stuff that is lined up to be happening. But the things I can definitely say for sure now, we will be having the Tony in his X class. That will be flying around. We'll have the team relay racing. We'll be having FPV freestyle competitions. So there'll be the qualifiers.
I'm entering that with the X class.
Will the FPV Wing Racing Association rock up and actually do a race this year?
I don't have anyone down for wing racing at the moment. I was speaking to a lot of people earlier in the year. But so far, I still haven't heard of anyone who's been putting on wing racing. If anyone hears of anything, please do let me know, because I do really want to see some wing racing. And that's part of the reason why Mini Air Show does now own a lap RF of its own, is because I want.
Can I just say the Let's Drone Out icon seems to be presented. It's not switching for me. Yeah.
Have you clicked on it?
Mine's switching. You must have clicked on it.
Oh, maybe I clicked
No, mine's on Jack.
Oh, I don't know then. I don't know what I've done. Yeah, carry on then. Sorry, that's my fault. I interrupted your flow there, Andy. Yeah. So, we were talking about. So the wing racers were there last year, but isn't that when the rain started, when they started flying?
There was rain. There was people thought that no one was flying, and therefore decided that was a good time to fire up the tiny whoops in the marquee, which is obviously not helpful. All sorts of reasons why the wing racing didn't really go to plan last year. But there hasn't really been any other wing racing that I've been able to get a kind of word on that's been happening at sort of even just informal meetups. So I have got the lap RF, and if anyone vaguely local has got together a group of people that are flying wings and wants to discuss with me the possibility of actually trying some wing racing, I am very open to discussing this after Mini Air Show.
People in the chat are saying that they're only seeing Tony, like it's stuck on Tony.
Oh, mine's stuck on Jack.
Yeah, something's gone wrong, isn't it?
I'm sorry,
not
it's
saying
stuck on
anything's
me.
presented to me, so It's all
Uh,
switching nicely across.
I'm
the
looking at
different-
the live stream on YouTube, which is a little bit delayed,
No,
and
it's
it's
presenting me.
Yeah,
stuck
no
on
worries. I
Tony.
thought I'd just
Not
reset.
Yeah,
Does that
see if
work?
mine's still just stuck on Andy.
Mine's transitioning between everybody probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is fine.
Mine's stuck on Jack.
Well, everybody's saying it's just Tony, and I'm looking at the live
Oh.
feed, and it's just Tony.
I'm sorry. Should I? I can go outside and give you a better view. Maybe we can go out into the these lovely sunny.
Because Tony is
Well-
loud for some reason. Let
No, I
me-
don't think. I don't think so. It's not switching
No.
for me at all, unless I click on the person individually, and nothing switching.
Is it switching for anyone now? What's going on?
No, just Tony.
Just all, just on YouTube at least.
Tony,
It's
hang
just
up and come
Tony.
back on again.
Tony's broken the internet again.
Aren't we finishing now?
Yes.
Ah,
Let's just finish.
Tony, take your top off. Unless that poor child's still around.
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's actually doing it now.
No, I'm in short. I was actually in my swimwear.
So am I.
Whoa,
Very
man, too hot for YouTube.
So am I. Look, because it's in double figures
Oh
up
my
here. So.
God, like, hang on. For a minute there, my screen just went like this.
Ah! Mine did as well. I don't get my knobblies out now and again. You know, they're white as sheets.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. I'm sorry, I'm stuck. You're all stuck on me in a wardrobe behind me.
Go outside or something, Tony.
YouTube knows who the
Let's have a
real
wander,
star
quick.
is. That is.
one
So,
other thing I've thought
just
about
outside.
mini air show. If you want some bits, we will have Airjacker turning up, and as of this afternoon, you can go to the airjacker.com website and order things to pick up at Popham. That is now.
Just a couple of things I want to ask. What about catering? Because I know that has changed from last year. There was a bar last year.
There is a bar this year. We have now got a
you've got
bar. It
one.
is going to be in the marquee. It's got flashing lights and everything.
What about food?
Is it
Palm
named
trees?
Tony's Bar? Tony's Bar.
Or like Edie's bar.
Yeah.
Edie's bra. That's a bottom reference.
Edie's bar. Can you see the palm tree?
Yes.
Yeah. That's all we can see because
Nice.
it's forever presenting on you.
I want to
Oh,
say.
I'm sorry. This is probably a better.
I want to
view.
say a bottom thing, and I want to see if Tony can complete the sentence.
Oh, trust me, he can.
So are you ready? Are you ready,
Go on.
Tony?
I bet I go on.
I'll be back in a mo.
A sex. Mo.
Yeah, I knew it.
Even I knew that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
This has turned into. Should we rename this episode into Tony Reacts? It's just a video of Tony.
I really.
All right, I like. My go to Andy. I like stalk margarine because
Oh, I don't know it. Damn it.
I've only got one leg.
I don't know. What's that one from? I don't know that one.
But it's
I
bottom.
don't know. It's a bit more. Too obscure. That one is.
Oh, I've watched them all.
I've watched them all, but I haven't got that one. But
You know what? I like Stalk Margarine. It comes up on YouTube, on Google, and it gives you. I want to go to the Bahamas because.
It's fucking hot there.
Yes.
Am I right again? I did swear though.
I vote.
I'm sorry.
It is,
Well,
it is
yeah,
from my
we've
favourite
so off
episode, the
topic.
one in the fairground.
Yeah, where they're stuck on the
Yes.
Ferris wheel.
That
There is a
good.
GIF as well.
Yeah. That is brilliant. That is.
Do you want to
Anyways,
sign us off,
so-
Jack?
Well, I just want to.
I think you
there's
should because
one-
we're talking complete and utter.
There's
Yeah.
one more thing I want to ask about Mini Air Show, and then we can cut out because I know we're going over. But with all the stuff that's got to be cut out, I imagine it's about 12 minutes worth. So
No, luckily it is. Just
Sorry.
what pilots are going to be there that may be semi-famous or famous? Like we had Gary there last year. Do we know of any famous pilots, maybe from DRL or Next Blaze, that are going to be
Yes,
flying?
there will be people that you know.
Do you know? Can you name them so that it entices people to?
I'm not sure I can because I haven't asked them.
Oh,
I don't
right,
know what the
fair
rules
enough.
are. But
Well,
if you go on the Mini Air Show Instagram or Facebook, you can see all the latest teams that have signed up, which does include the Next Blades, except they're not Next Blades, they're X Blades.
Who
So that's
isn't?
112 of them.
3 Willies teams. We've got Halo. We've got who else? We've got I can't think. Send
might-
nudes if that means anything to anyone.
send nudes.
all
was
the,
that?
Nudes, as in noodles.
I thought you said send nudes.
The Welsh guys they're famous. The woolly sheep. They're all great people.
Yep.
Is the
But
tiny
they're
whoop
Welsh.
thing? Is the tiny whoop thing happening again as well?
Yes.
But no quiz.
No quiz, unfortunately.
Good, because we were rubbish at it.
We won.
I love the quiz.
Me and
though.
Andy won it.
I
I've
love.
got the trophy at home.
Yeah, you won it because the person who wrote the questions was on your bloody team.
He wasn't. He was sitting near us.
yes, exactly. Sitting
He
right.
also wrote them
Gee.
about us. So
Oh yeah, and he asked me a
the
couple of
fact
things.
that you got them wrong isn't good.
That might
The team
might
with
be.
the most LDO people in got the least points, even though most of the questions were about LDO.
Well, that just shows
You know
that we're
why?
not
'Cause
self-centered, doesn't it?
He asked me the questions. I didn't know, so I just guessed them.
But yeah, unfortunately,
Bloody
well, I
hell.
mean, congratulations to them, but unfortunately for us, they are away
Otherwise,
doing much better things.
engaged. Yes.
Specifically engaged because they get off getting married, or are they on their honeymoon by that point? I can't remember now. I've lost track of time.
Who's that?
Steve.
Yeah, he's coming to Florida
Cool.
because he asked if I was
Fantastic.
here for a drink, but I'm going to miss him by a few days, unfortunately.
Nice. Right, should we call it there?
Yes, please.
Yes, I think we should.
Thank you to all our Patreons. You guys rock. You're the reason this shit show keeps afloat and makes it easier for Andrew to order things to our houses and try and burn us down with us.
Yes, like weird stuff like child. Is it a girl or a boy? Which I can't even open.
And everyone who tunes in, listens, rates us on iTunes, follows us on Facebook, supports us, tolerates us, emails
Listen to us
us.
on
SoundCloud. We'd like to thank Frank's brother for having unlimited patience with us. We are deeply sorry. You've been joined by Andrew / Frank,
Bye.
Andy RC,
Good evening.
My Little Tony,
Bonjour.
everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Goodbye. Excuse me.
That is the kind of quality you can expect from
I
this
was
show.
trying to hold it in, and it's like it's not going to land on me, and I'm going to sneeze. Yep, it did.
I'm Brighton Till
Right.
I Fly. You've been listening to Let's Show Now. Tune in next week. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.